Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How are we all doing out there? If you're with me, either in Discord chat or in YouTube chat, go ahead and say what's up and good morning. Let's see who we have with us today. Good morning, Oatmeal. How are we doing today? Just getting all set up here. Hey, John. Hey, Otter. First time joining your stream before the open. YouTube has been bombarding me with your videos and my recommendations, and I like the way you read price. Welcome to the stream. Well, good to have you here. Hey, Kenny. Hey, EQ, Trader Pixie. Hello, everybody. Just getting all set up here. So no trades yet. What a beautiful flush this was here in the NQ. Hey, Kenny, Trader Mark, Smooth. Hey, how we all doing? So yeah, wow, what a beautiful flush we had here in the NQ. Let's check this out. Look at that. Wow. We're now right down at our level here of 894. I think we can hit a low of this 71 here. It has slowed down. You can see the candlesticks here getting, the bodies are getting thinner and thinner. We do have some data out at 8:30 today. Oh boy, do we ever. Let's look at the schedule here. So for 8:30, no, I'm sorry, we don't. I'm getting ahead of myself. 8:30, that's the data that's going to be coming out on Thursday and Friday. That's the important data. We have the non-farm payrolls coming out on Friday. That's the one that's going to be crazy. That's going to be wild this week. That's what everybody's kind of waiting for here. So we do have non-farms on Friday, but today we got the Redbook retail sales at 8:55. Nothing until then. So really, we really only have Raphael Bostic, who's speaking right now. Started speaking 5 minutes ago, so I'm listening to the squawks for that right now. Just getting all the new price targets from these banks coming out, just ringing in my ears right now. Hey, Discount. Hello, hello, hello. So let's see here. We are kind of skittering around here. We did reject that 94.5 again. So if we see weakness below that 94.5, I would be considerably wanting to take this short to that 71 target or just wait for a 71 bounce there. Just watching here to see if we can maybe take a small position into this weakness here and break these lows around this 86 area. Let's see if everything's copying here. I'm going to go short. Risking to the top of these candles right here. So we are short. Looking for this 85 to break down. We could bounce back up to 94.5 easily, but I'd be tagging that again. Short. I think we do break down here, and I think we could target 71 pretty safely here. So trading small, just making sure everything's being copied here. All my commissions are showing up. All right, we're looking good. I'd love a nice little bounce, or a little bounce here back up to 94 and then weakness. If that's weak there, then we're certainly going to crack this 85 low. Targeting that 71 area, because this area is pretty weak here. And I think we'll find strength right around 71. So that's what we're watching for here. So nice, if we can get a nice little bounce, a bounce up to about 94 or so, that would be ideal. I could probably start layering into this too if the bounce doesn't even get us into the low 90s here. It's certainly shown that weakness. There's that weakness. We're adding a second lot there. So looking for this fail down to 71. We're hesitating right above the 80s here. Big buyers stepping in right there at 82. But still confident that we can get this in. We just might get a bounce back up to 94.5 or so. And that's where I'd really layer into this. Watching here. Hey, Dasco, good morning. So there's that bounce. Let's see if we get into the low 90s here. Watching this to 94. Watching. Okay, adding 2 lots there. Looking for this pull back down through the 80 level. And then targeting that 71. So let's see this smash right through the 80s to the downside here. Watching. Anticipating that 80 break now. Here comes that 80 snap. Let's see if we can get right through it. Should see this 80 snap with violence here. There's your dump right into 80s. Little hesitation. Got 3 lot cover ready to go. So just a touch of hesitation there into the 80s. A little bit of consolidation right above that 80 level. See if we get this second test of weakness here to the top side. Watching here at the 90s again. Seeing some firming up there at the 90s, watching closely here. I want to see this snap that 90 once more. Adding right there for that little bout of weakness right there at the 90s. And again, this is that level, that 94 level here that we're watching. Watching here. I want to see a 900 reject here. And if we have that weakness right at 900, then I potentially want to look at taking this full size here. Because we'll get a flush right through the 90 level again. Okay, now looking for that flush through the 90s. So this is our big test right here, this 90 area. Looking across the board, we did see a little bit of a bounce from tech here. Beautiful there. Want to see this week right below 90 now. So they're still bidding 90s. I'm watching for that 90 bidder to get broken down. This 94-ish level is kind of everything that I'm watching right now. I'm just watching the tape right around this 94 area. I want to see them give up that 90 level here. Going full size here, looking for that second crack at the 90s here. Covering 3 right there. We still have our 3 cover down there lower. This 86 level has a defender at it. And take off 3 more into that push. Okay, they broke that 86. Very nice. 3 more out leaves us with 6. So we have half off at that 80 break now. Watching here. Still aggressive selling. Big buyer there. I got to take off 3 more. Looking for this fail down now through the 80s. There it is. Perfect trade. So right out of the 80s there, we wanted to get that weakness right as we crack the 80s. And now we might get a little bit of a fail down below this here. And we might actually hit that 71 target that we were aiming for originally. But just because of the way that we were hitting that 85 there, wanted to potentially see it kind of crack back up to the top side. And then I would have added into that. But then we got that 80 break. So I'm not going to chase this below the 80s. But there we go. First trade on the board. See how we did across there. So copied across 3 accounts here. Make sure I'm on the right screen and everything. Yeah, up $3,793. Copied across 3 Top Step accounts right there. So that's how we go into our day. That is the first trade that we have on deck for Tuesday. So as long as we had that weakness right around that 94 level, now we get that bounce right back above the 80s. You can see that right there. We're getting that bounce right back above the 80s. That's what I was worried about on that one. So that's why we had our cover right into that 80 push, guaranteeing that we're going to get filled. And then we were layering our contracts on the way down there. So there we go. First trade in the books there. We might get a little bit lower here. I want to see what happens at 71. I think we'll get a nice healthy bounce at 71. So great way to kick off our morning here. It's nice when we have price action that we can jump right into on the stream. Sometimes we have to wait for just, a perfect setup there. But that was all about you know, we had those lows that we're just starting in and scaling into. We were looking for that pull back up to 94 that we were looking for, and then was able to get full size on that second test of the 90s, where we saw that big bidder that was at the 90s. He disappeared. And then right below that, we saw that beautiful weakness right into the 80s. So right at our target there. Trader Pixie says, my Express account came. Very nice. Assuming that's Top Step, right? Your Express XFA, Express XFA there. Yeah, Top Step is great. I love trading with Top Step because there's no intra-position trailing drawdown. Nice trade, Ribs. When you're talking about the 94 levels at the MC levels, where there was also liquidity on the book map there, it was the confluence of both the MC level that we have here in Market Clubhouse, as well as that the liquidity that I was seeing in there in the book map. So having those two things created that confluence to give me the confidence to take that trade. So yeah, really great way to start our morning here. Now we're gonna look for a second setup. If we get that pull back up to 94, we've rejected these lows now multiple times. You can see on the E-mini here, I'm sorry, on the E-signal, on the charting here, you can see these bottoming tails right here. They become concerning. The bodies of these candles have become thinner and thinner here. So it is a little bit concerning that as we are down in these low levels here with the candle bodies getting thinner and thinner, the likelihood that we're going to maintain weakness at this level, it becomes more and more concerning and more difficult to manage. And that's why I had that cover there at the 80s, because it's pretty likely that, yeah, we'll get a flash down through the 80s, but you know, how long are we going to stay down there? Are we going to get confident pull all the way down to that 71 level? We came close to it. We hit like a low of 75 or so. And, you know, we didn't quite hit that 71 target, but that's why we wanted to anticipate. And a lot of futures, you have to be anticipatory in your actions, because if you don't really know what you're expecting, if you don't have price targets and where your stops are going to be, then you're going to get run over. And you can't do that when you're trading futures. You have to be very precise with what your trade idea is before you pull the trigger and before you put that trade on. Because if you're going into a trade without a trade plan, you're just gambling and you don't have any idea what you're expecting, what targets you have, where the price action is going to go. And yeah, it's just very important to have that trade plan well intact before you get any kind of trades on here. So we're looking for that second setup. I wanted a complete pull back up to 94. We didn't quite get that. You can see here, we got to pull back up to about 90 or so. Let's see how many folks that we have in here right now. Looks like we got 30 folks watching and only 18 likes. Go ahead and do me a favor, hit that like button right below this video. Make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on so you get notified anytime that we are going live here on the YouTube channel. And see if we can get us pumped up to 20 likes here. We're going for 700 subs on the channel this week. And we're almost, I think we have only 50 more to go to 700. Last week, our target was 600 subs, and you guys crushed that. So I do appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys subscribing. It's free. Click that subscribe button and make sure your notifications bell is turned on there. I see we got a new friend in here, Otter, who's was being bombarded. The YouTube algorithm was bombarding him with our videos here. So happy to see that. It is actually helping people find the channel here. Any questions about the trade that I took so far? We're looking for our second setup here. We want to see that pull up to 94 here. You can see here, if we're looking at the book map right now, you can see this area across the board right here is kind of where we're forming the equilibrium here. So we have this price action above that area, price action below that area, and this sort of equilibrium well into that 90 area. And that's why those 90s were so important to me, because when we're defining that area as sort of an equilibrium in price, anything below that is considered a discount. Anything above that is considered a premium. So we're trying to get a short into that discount area where we're going to find willful buyers. You're going to have a lot of people who are bidding that down there, but the price action is going to find its way down there because that's where a lot of the liquidity is. And markets are efficient markets like futures markets. They're in a constant seeking of liquidity in that sort of state there. Hey, I'm new here. Do you also trade reversals? Yeah, I trade all sorts of different strategies here. And as you continue to watch, you can watch all the live streams that we have in the archive. Trade reversals, trade absolutely all sorts of different chart patterns and all sorts of different concepts. I've been trading for more than a decade now. And yeah, I bring all sorts of experience. I've traded equities, options, crypto, currency pairs. I've traded all sorts of things. And I love trading futures, and I love streaming trading futures. And it's one of my favorite products to trade because it's the most pure trade. I'll call it pure because the price action is pure. When you're trading something like small caps, you're leaving up your destiny to somebody who's running that book. And not a lot of people understand this. Not a lot of small cap traders understand this because a lot of small cap traders, they just see a stock going up and they trick themselves by saying, oh, I read the filings, this company's crap, and then they short it. And that's their whole thesis for their entire career. And they don't bother to learn anything about price action or how levels work. But you're leaving it up to a book runner who is controlling your entire fate. And with futures, it's not that at all. It's billions and billions of dollars are being funneled through futures. And it's a beautiful product. It respects price action. It's a great product to learn and trade because the longevity of this product is going to be around for a very, very long time. If there's no stock market, there's going to be no futures, but there's never going to be a stock market without futures. Legit, you popped up in my home screen like 20 times without me watching a single video. Well, that's good. You guys are helping the YouTube algorithm out here when you guys are giving the video thumbs up and everything. Last week's lows are looking like a good magnet. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the NQ here, that the 71 area is what I was watching here, just bringing back to the chart here. You can see here, these are the levels that we have in Market Clubhouse. So I was watching to see if we get price down here, hitting that 71. You can see how much liquidity that we've had here. And this 71 area has been a very strong level of support. And we actually had a nice double bottoming pattern down there. And you can see up here, that 22 reject that we had yesterday, we didn't quite make it back up to that 22 area. And we've since failed back down here. So it's going to be an exciting day of price action today. Outside of the Red Book retail sales that we have coming out at 8:55, we do have some big data that's going to be coming out at 10. That's the August JOLTS job openings. And that's going to be a very important read because the Fed watches that kind of data. And with that data, they make informed decisions on what they're going to be doing and what they're going to be doing with the next FOMC and all that. Get this up here. So yeah, we are still kind of auctioning around this 94 area, snaking around. We could have taken I guess maybe a scalp there to the top side, but I'm happy to just be sitting back here. We're up almost $4,000 off of just that one first trade. Copying it amongst 3 Top Step accounts. If you've never traded Top Step before, there's a link in the description right below. Top Step is a great way to get started trading futures. You don't have to put your own money on the line. They actually fund your accounts after you pass a test. And that test to pass is, you can get started for as little as $49, which is awesome. So if you've never traded futures before, when I first started trading futures, I had to put my own money on the line and it was very costly. That was my market tuition that I had to pay to get started in the markets. And it was extremely costly. It was, it was a very expensive endeavor, and every single time you're wrong, you're losing your own cash, and it's not like you could just say, hey, let me just refill the account with some more. It gets to be very, very expensive. How much have you gotten paid out with Top Step so far? $0. I've never taken a payout from Top Step. My idea with Top Step is I'm trying to beat their record. The record right now is a single payout of $110,000. So I'm trying to beat that single record payout. I traded Apex accounts for about a month. I took a $20,000 payout with Apex. So I'm trying to take a really large payout with Top Step. That's my goal with Top Step right now. Obviously, I'm in no rush to get paid out. I can easily take a payout from the accounts right now, but I really want to take a monster payout. And I know it's a weird goal. It's a crazy goal. And I might eventually just take a payout. We'll see. But yeah, I really want to try to beat their single payout record, which I believe, according to Michael Paddock, I believe is $110,000 in a single payout. So I really want to, I'd love to take the crown on that one. So looking back up here at this 900 level, this is sort of where we were on that hourly high. If you're watching right around here, just right here at that level, that was the hourly high. This would generally be a decent area to start looking at another short here because the market is still really weak. The only concern that I have is that going into the market here, we have these really long tails on everything. So that could bring us a very choppy and constrained market. Obviously, the liquidity pool is kind of in this pocket right now. We have a really large range. Had we only been skirting around in a range like this one up here, go ahead and clear that. We're skirting around in just a range like that. It would give me a lot more confidence to take a trade, because that means that, you know, when you have tight consolidation like that, the idea that it's going to get knocked loose and you're going to get a nice range out of that area is much higher. The probabilities are much more in your favor. Wow, that's great. I'll wait for that huge payout. Nice. Yeah, if we get that, we'll definitely do a video about that. We'll put that on stream. I might even do a video about my Apex 20K payout, because it turns out that, you know, that's actually seems to be on the larger side of payouts for Apex, which I was actually surprised about. There are people that are taking massive payouts, massive payouts with Apex and Top Step. Obviously, Top Step, the record single payout, 110,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood. On Apex, I think it was in the same week that I took my payout. I think somebody took a $750,000 payout. So there's links in the description for both of those companies, for both Top Step and Apex. But currently, I just trade with Top Step accounts right now. I still have Apex accounts, but I haven't touched them since I've taken that payout, because I just appreciate the way that these Top Step accounts trade. It's more so the way that I'm used to trading with my own money, and it's much more comfortable for me. So looking back at NinjaTrader here, we had tested the hourly high and then a reject off of that. But again, it's so hard for me to trust this here. We're going to be pulling into those 90s again. It's hard for me to trust whether or not we're going to hit those 90s again and just bounce immediately. Remember, we were talking about this mid area right here. So if we're going to hit that area and just bounce immediately, then, you know, it just makes it harder to manage that trade. So Redbook retail sales coming out in 25 minutes here. And it's been a while. I was talking about this in the Clubhouse yesterday in the Discord. It's been a very long time since we've actually seen the Redbook retail sales actually move the market. And so I don't think that we'll see much of an effect on the markets from that. I don't know if I'm going to take a follow-up trade here. I'm just watching the price action. Nice flush there through the 90s. Let's see if we have that continued weakness through the 90s. Again, if we hit that weakness through the 90s right here, and we actually get a failure right down through the 80s, we can target 71 for a bounce somewhere in that area. But you can see here, we're just kind of wrestling around this mid area here, because there's so much liquidity pool in between this area. We went into a premium area for that last hour. Now we're kind of in the equilibrium. Below that's going to be the discount area, and that's where we'll find buyers. You can see here, even in the book map, all this liquidity right here just stacked up, ready to take that. You can zoom in here. Most of the liquidity is either anticipating above the 80s or into that the high 70s there. Discount says, I like the discount area. Yeah, I wonder why, huh? So yeah, we are just kind of skittering around here, getting some weakness. I think we'll have it firm up again at the 80s there. Anybody else have some trades on right now? Perhaps some folks got some trades from those hourly highs up there. I think that's a nice little 10 handle run. Well, I guess 20 handles if you caught it all the way at 04. That'd be about 20 handle run there. Oh, and the other thing is that I'm looking to do, I'm going to look at our data for what are the most popular days of the stream, and I want to collect enough data. So I'm thinking that probably next week, maybe even this week, I doubt it, but next week we're going to have, took the hourly high short, but my trailing stops got stopped out. Nice trade. Nice work there, Apex. Way to go. Awesome job. But yeah, I'm thinking we're going to do a stream here where we start at 8 a.m. Because the stream normally runs, you can see right here, it starts at 8 a.m., but we're going to have the stream run from 8 a.m. until 10:30 on one of these days during the week, where we're going to be able to trade the open together, which will be a lot of fun because I say this often, you know, trading this area, trading from 8 to 9, it's a very specific area in the market. And it can be some days like squeezing water out of a rock, right? Let's see the ES here. Flipping over to the ES. Same kind of deal there. You had an hourly perk there. So that was, looks like, and this is why I don't really trade the ES, especially during this morning session, this pre-market. So just 3 handles there, about 3 handles, 4 handles. But yeah, that would have, again, that hourly high was a nice pull. Futures all day. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we might have I'm guessing sometime next week. And this is, again, why you want to make sure that you are subscribed with your notifications turned on, because it's going to be one of these upcoming days where we're actually going to trade from 8 a.m. all the way through 10:30. So it'll be a 2.5 hour stream, all of trading. And it'll be a lot of fun because we won't have to try to really be super scalpy. We'll be able to wait for the trades to come to us. Thankfully, when we're trading futures here, I have a lot of experience as a momentum trader, and that is why I'm able to pull off a lot of the trades that I trade here live on stream. If you go back and look at all of the live streams here, I think we've only had 2 losing days on the live stream, I want to say. I have to go back and check, but I think it's only 2 days since we've been doing the live stream here of losses. And one of them was a scratch day. And it's like, you know, this is all done live here for you folks. This is not smoke and mirrors. This is not in hindsight. I'm doing this all live for you guys in the moment. And, you know, it's because of the experience that I have doing this. I've been doing this for a decade, but a lot of my experience is being a momentum trader. And it's very difficult when you have patterns like this, right? If you look at this pattern, it's just snaking around here. It's very difficult, especially for newer traders, to look at a pattern like this and be able to have success with this. Either they're taking off their trades too quickly, they're not covering fast enough, they're not putting on their lots quick enough. There's a lot of different things. I've traded momentum for years and years and years, and that has helped me tremendously to be able to maneuver in this type of tight market. But long story short, you know, we won't have to maneuver in such a tight market like this, and being able to stream for a 2-hour session like that, where we have the pre-market session, where we have the opening session, and then the afterglow of the opening session, we'll be able to mark out zones in the chart live in real time, and we'll be able to set up for much bigger picture trades here. Like that short there at the hourly high, that would have been a beautiful banger trade. But here's the thing. Did I think that it was going to work out? No, I would have taken the trade. The reason why is because we have so much liquidity there at that 90 level. I didn't think that we'd get that pull down there. Especially given that there is no news. But this is great price action here. I'm looking across the board here at tech, and now I am seeing that Apple's rolling over hard. We're having Microsoft start to crack. Nvidia's looking like it wants to pull down. But I still think, you know, we're safe here around these lower 80 levels, this lower 80 crack of 80 level. Eku says, going to be an epic stream coming up. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. John says, Rips, your win rate with futures is insane. That's awesome. Yeah, we're just talking about that. Yeah. Looking here now, coming down to that 71 area, getting low here. Let's see if we have the potential to hit a nice bounce here off the 71 level. Apple is tremendously selling off here. So Apple has a lot of downside room today. Apple has room down to 171. We have a lot of buyers there. Right at 171 and tucked just below 171. Nvidia, Tesla, Meta all have some nice room here to the downside. All right, we're tagging that 71 area. Let's see. Might try to take a long bounce here, but it is so heavy and Apple's so heavy here, so don't want to just blindly just fire into that. Very, very heavy across the board in tech right now. So just watching here. Wow, nice work there. Kofifi, number 17 and 18. Looks like you're building an arsenal of past accounts over there. Well done. Way to go. So we're showing some weakness here below 71, just watching. Okay, so this is why I'm just getting this through my ears here on the squawk. Bostic just put out a statement. Basically, he's being interviewed right now. Let's see where he's actually being interviewed here. He's participating in a conversation called Economic Outlook for 2024 Inflation. So he just came out and he just said that the Fed is going to remain in restrictive territory for quite some time. And that's probably what caused the algorithms to snap that right there down to that 71. So you can see if we're watching here on the E signal, right there to our target of 71. That's what we're looking for on the original short, but the way that I was reading the tape and the way that I saw those 80s coming in, the way that they were pacing into those 80s, the first time we came down, we touched near the 80s, and we bounced heavily against that. There's a lot of things that were going for me that said, you know what, probably want to take that off into those 80s and leave that cover where I had it. So we did tuck below those 71s there. Now bouncing back up, just looking across the board and seeing what the catalyst could be outside of Mr. Raphael Bostic and his commentary. Now bouncing off of that 71 area. Hourly low there of 67 flat. And this should be, right now, this should give you everything you need to know about chasing. So for instance, you saw that weakness right below 71 there. A lot of newer traders, what they find themselves doing is that if it breaks below that 71, they say, oh, that was a level and that was weakness there. I'm going to chase that thing short. Just wait, just hold on, pump the brakes. If you find yourself doing that, you're going to be shorting into lows all day long. Instead, be patient. Let it develop. Trade off of a 2 or 3 minute chart and wait for that 2 or 3 minute bar to close. I know right here on our chart, right over here, that is a 30-second chart, but the only reason I have a 30-second chart up is so that you guys can watch sort of tick by tick in real time. I would never trade off of a 30-second chart, ever. The lowest time frame that you should ever trade off of in futures, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I would say the lowest time frame you should ever be trading off of should be a 3-minute chart. It should be no lower than 3 minutes. And if you find yourself kind of doing that where you're chasing lows, you know, let's say you fired into that one, now you're getting stopped out on that rip and now it's going lower and now you're trying to chase it again. You know, there's so many different things that you can do to miff up a trade or mess up a trade. There's so many different things that can go wrong. What you don't want to do is be chasing. You don't want to be doing this in a lower time frame. And the only reason, like I said, that we have this lower time frame here is simply just to illustrate that that we're, you know, the trade's tick by tick and everything. Because look, if I drop it into a 5-minute chart here, you can't really see the trades as clearly. You can't really see what I've done here. So that's why we have it on a 30-second chart here for you folks. All right, so Bostic out with some more commentary here. Question remains, how fast will the economy slow? That's an interesting statement. Also saying it's getting easier to hire. I don't know what that means. Oh, hire, like hire people. They're spelling that wrong there. Good old terminal. Fed should remain patient as long as inflation continues to slow. Well, we're still waiting to see inflation slow here. The fervor of spending and investment has decreased. I don't know if that's true. I think consumer spending is still out of control. And then he said economy is getting back into balance. So some hawkish commentary. He is a non-voter, but he is going to be a voter in 2024. And keep in mind, he is the only Fed speaker today. But during regular trading hours today, you're going to have a lot of market participants who are digesting that data. And they're going to be looking at what he said. We also have, like I said, that 10 a.m. data that's going to be coming out. That's pretty much what the entire trade is going to be today. It's going to be based around all of the market structure, and it's going to be based around digesting Raphael Bostic's commentary here. We are pushing lower now. So weakness below 71. The next level we have below 71, where I could see the market bouncing, would be somewhere in that 47-ish area. So market is bleeding very strong here. Still not in any trades. Just watching here. Big level breaking down here. Apple is cratering. Microsoft is cratering. A lot of volume here into this push. So I wonder if he concluded his conference and that's why we got that big pull down. I'm not hearing anything about it, but that was a beautiful move to the downside. Anybody else in here catch that move? That was just insane. Wow, nice work there, Kenny. Way to go. Up $2,700. That's what I'm talking about. Nice job. We are bouncing here. I think that we can get down as low as this, like low 50s, high 40s. Nice job, Dasco. Dasco says he caught that flush. Beautiful work. Nice job there. So today's going to be a very exciting day of trade. I'm looking forward to this. Regular trading hours. This is going to be a really beautiful day of trade here. Big bounce. Wow. That would have been, again, this is why I say you got to be patient because, let's say you're salty about missing this trade here to the downside. If you're patient enough, maybe you can scalp a bounce here to the top side. That's call that a reflex trade. And you can catch that reflex back to the top side. I think Bostic is still speaking here. Just trying to listen to the squawks coming across here. But yeah, wow. Look at this this tremendous fade here. Beautiful fade there to the downside. From 905 all the way to 51. So over 50 handles on that move. Just gorgeous. We do have Redbook retail sales coming out in 11 minutes here. So that's what we'll wait for. We'll listen for that read, see if there's any final single trade that I will take at that time. If not, then we'll lock it up and we'll move on to the morning call over in the Clubhouse. And then we will do live trading in the Clubhouse for as long as the opportunities are there today. This week is, again, can't reiterate this enough. It's a very important week. And it's because we have the non-farm payrolls coming out on Friday. So there's always usually non-farm week when we're getting the non-farm payrolls. There's loads of volatility, and that's because you have large funds, large banks that are doing all of their positioning for a day like today. And, it's one of those very insane sessions, very wild and volatile sessions. It's going to be all week leading up into Friday. I mean, yesterday, amazing volatility. Today, I think we're going to see a big repeat of that. And you want to make sure that you are drawing out these areas on your chart very specifically. Make sure that you are respecting your trade plan. The moment that you put on your trade, you're respecting your stops. You're not moving your stops around. And you're not just taking trades wildly. You have a focused approach to your trades, and you're looking at exactly what levels you're trying to interact with, how the price is moving around those levels, and make sure that you're being very respectful of your trade plan and in turn being respectful of yourself as a trader. Very important to maintain that discipline during this week. More than any week, really. I mean, FOMC week can be pretty wild, but this is one of those weeks where, give you an example here. On FOMC week, you usually have a lot of positioning that's going to happen before that week. Not a lot of active trading will happen pre-FOMC, usually. However, you will have positioning leading up to that. On non-farm week, it's sort of everybody's positioning during the week because non-farms are on Friday. And it's sort of this wild parade of banks and big positioning and orders that are going out. And you have these big defined levels, and you're having a lot of liquidity that's sweeping into these big defined levels. And it happens throughout the week. And what happens to newer traders is that, they go into the market like this and, they'll be moving their stops, and they don't have a trade plan. They're going into something and they see these huge sweeping moves, and they're sitting there and they're saying, what the heck happened? And they don't even know that it's non-farms week. And, you can get completely chopped apart because the price is moving so wildly and you're whipping around certain areas and then you're returning back down on those areas. So if you're a newer trader, trade smaller this week. Trade smaller leading into non-farm. I know some professional traders, some guys who used to trade in the pit even, and those guys don't even trade non-farm payroll week. They stay away from it. There's a couple different weeks or sessions or certain areas of the market that professional traders, older traders, old school traders, they just don't even entertain trading during those times because they probably had some bad times in their careers during those trading times. But more than anything, it's very volatile and it's very difficult. And if you're not going into the trade expecting that volatility, then you're going to get completely destroyed in something like that. So just looking back here on the chart, we have tapped back above that 71, but the market is still showing weakness. If we are looking here at the chart down here, this is from yesterday as well, you can see that we have continually made higher lows here across the board. We are making higher lows. So what I'd like to see for downside pressure in the market is I want to see a confident crack and a test of this 798 and a quarter to the downside. That would really maintain that we are still kind of in this massive downtrend here. And I think that would open up some nice short opportunities today. And again, can't reiterate this enough. If you've never traded this type of price action before, either trade small or don't trade at all, because there's nothing worse than, losing your account or losing money and kind of sitting back and saying, well, I wish I wouldn't have traded. I was there so many times early on in my career, like, you end up taking a trade, the dust settles, you're sitting there, either you've blown an account or you've lost an inordinate amount of money, and you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, can I undo that? Can I take that back? And you can't. That's the worst part. You can't take it back. There is no undo button. And you have to sit there and kind of dwell on the thought of, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I didn't take a trade. Boy, I didn't even have a plan taking that trade. And this is the kind of week that can inspire and spark those types of feelings there. We got 5 minutes now until the Redbook retail sale. So 5 minutes until that data comes out. So I do see now that we have over 38 of you folks in here. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody in here. Thank you for tuning in. We got 33 likes, so you guys are crushing it on the likes there. And remember, our goal here is to get above 700 subscribers here on the Market Clubhouse YouTube channel. So anything that you guys can do to help me, just click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate it. So we do have Raphael Bostic still speaking here. Just listen to these squawks. Just listening here. The Fed now talking about they potentially want to move that 2% inflation target. Very interesting. Not in a hurry to hike or cut. Fed should be on hold for a long time. Policy gets more restrictive as inflation comes down. Now keep in mind, Raphael is not a voter right now. He will be a voter next year, but it's surprising to me that the market is reacting this strongly on a non-voter right now. So this could be sort of the pull down for the layup where you have a lot of funds that are positioning down here. Now, here's something I want to point out on the book map so I can zoom in here. But if you're looking at these bubbles on the way down, these large red, see, I have kind of like a pie chart here on my book map. Those red bubbles mean that there's a lot of bids in that area. Bid, 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 bid. Now, that's not going to be small players there. That's not going to be small potatoes. It's not going to be small players. That's not going to be anybody but large institutions and large banks there that are making those moves. They're the ones who have the liquidity to absorb a move like that. So the question now is that you have to ask yourself, go back to our other chart here. If we are going to continue to sort of make, let me go ahead and draw this on a line here. If we are going to continue to maintain this sort of higher lows, remember this is the area that we're looking for right there. So as long as we are not breaching that, what area is that? About 45 or so. As long as we're not breaching that 45 there and maintaining weakness below it, and in fact, you can look at the shadow of that candlestick there. Go even as low as that 27. As long as we're not making lower lows, we're going to remain intact here. And I think that's why we see a lot of that positioning here on the bid side, where we have a lot of folks that are, funneling into the bid here. You can see right here, a lot of bid side activity. This is big size too. I mean, these are 200 plus contracts there. It's going to be a very interesting day of trade. I'm very excited for it. All right, 2.5 minutes here until Redbook retail sales come out. So we'll be watching for that. Again, we're sitting up about 4K on the day, just off of that one trade. Didn't take that second follow-up trade. Was talking about it, but didn't take it. That hourly high there, looking to take that short. Didn't take it myself, but we had some folks here in the Discord as well as in YouTube that ended up taking that trade and making a very, very healthy profit. So happy to see that. So we'll see for that read to come out, and then after that, see if there's a trade, a small little scalp setup for us. See if we can take a trade off of that. And if not, then we'll continue trading over in the Clubhouse. Still showing some weakness here across the board. If we scroll back here, look at how weak this market has been since this morning. Ideally, you want to be taking a lot short up there and just letting that puppy ride and just not taking it off. If you were to take that trade up there, and just make that a little bit smaller here. If you're going to take that trade from up here, the moment that it cracks that hourly low, you're moving your stop to above those wicks. You're never going to get it stopped out. Goes there. You're looking for the market to catch at any point. It catches it at the bottom here, so you're watching the retracement. Comes up to that retracement. Now you're moving your stop just above that retracement. Funnels down again, get your bounce there. Again, putting your stop right above that retracement. Comes back up, bounces, putting your stop above that retracement. Goes back down, comes back up. Now we're making that hourly high, the one that we just interacted with, and you're putting your stop above that retracement. Comes back up, bounces, you're not moving it at all. Comes back down, hits that retracement, moving your stop there, and comes back down, hits that retracement, stop right there. Comes back down, hits the retracement, again, moving your stop ever so slightly. So you'd never really be out of that trade if you're trailing your stop on every single retracement, just a touch above it. So keep that in mind. If you have a longer move like that and you're finding trouble of holding that on, that's what you want to be focused on. You want to be only looking at where you actually have retracements in the market, and then the topping wicks of those retracements, you're putting your stop just above those wicks. And in a tremendous downtrend like this, you're able to capture all of that alpha. If you were to hold that trade for the entire time, it looks like you're up about 150 points here from that. And 150 points will definitely blow your hair back in the NQ. It'll get you a really nice day. All right, Redbook retail sales out any moment here. Up 3.5%. Up 3.9% versus a year ago. And the market is flushing a little bit actually on that. That's surprising to me. Let's get zoomed in here. So we are making our way a little bit lower, testing those hourly lows and cracking them. Wow, look at that. So I think our target here to the downside is going to be that 14,837 level. It's a lot of nice volatility. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to be wrapping it up here. I'm get a nice bounce there. Nice volatility in the market today. Took that one trade to make $3,793 today. A lot of fun trading with you folks. As always, I will be back here on YouTube tomorrow at 8 a.m. and we'll be doing some more live trading here in the NQ futures. Maybe we'll trade ES if we feel like it, but generally speaking, we'll probably trade that NQ futures. So locking it up here, I'm going to continue trading live on over there in Clubhouse, and we'll be trading right there off the open there and see how well we do. So I hope everybody has a safe trading today. Remember, keep your head on a swivel and remain disciplined. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So take it easy. This week is very volatile. So please trade with caution and discipline. And before I go, just got to remind you guys, please make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. Make sure you hit subscribe. I will continue streaming Bookmap throughout the day here. So if you'd like to watch the Bookmap stream, it will look like this, where we'll have Bookmap up only. If you want to have that up in a second monitor there, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, like I said, we're wrapping it up here, up $3,793.90 there on the day. And I will see you guys bright and early on YouTube here. Thanks for tuning in at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.